Hi, we're Laura and Dan. We've bought a beautiful rustic Portuguese barn and have literally zero knowledge of building and farming, but plan on converting it into a beautiful off-grid homestead. Follow us on our journey. Life on the land right now is still very intense in terms of the heat. The ground and the environment is scorched, even the ancient trees, plants and grapevines are struggling. The grapevines are turning into raisins and other fruit trees on the land are really struggling too. There's a sense in the air that the land, the trees and the crops are calling for the waters to return, and you can just sense it all around in the soil, the air and the landscape. We've been watering certain areas, but because we've only arrived here and are still new to the off-grid journey, we are constantly learning so much. Where to pick up certain building supplies, best methods and practices, and figuring out all the practical stuff whilst working on a budget. We haven't been able to put in efficient water systems as of yet, as well as piping to bring water to the top of the land. That's something we need to do in the future. We're actually really looking forward to the rains coming back, and being northerners, we never thought we would quite say that. The return of the colder weather is very much welcomed. This summer has had many firsts. Our first time moving to a new country, our first time sharing our life so publicly online, and as with all firsts, it comes with challenges and tough emotions to feel into. All of these challenges in the end are teaching us so much about ourselves and have strengthened the bond between us in our relationship, and we both have so much more respect for each other. Today is a beautiful day and I cannot wait to start the pear and plum harvest. One of the things that drew us to the off-grid journey was the ability to harvest and grow our own foods. Our land has an abundance of varied fruit trees. We have peach, plum, pear, apple, pomegranate, fig, almond and grapevines. With the summer being so intense here this year, some of the trees have struggled, but some have still produced a good crop. The apples aren't quite ready yet. I love watching the little birds move between the ancient olive trees as I walk through each morning. The plums were the first on the menu today. We've already ate a lot of our plums, but we just couldn't wait. They taste better than any plum we've ever had before. The pear tree is my favourite on the land. It's very old and has such a majestic presence. It's one of the oldest trees we have. I fired that one away. After doing the harvest, it was time to have a little snack. So this is our harvest today, and that's our first ever harvest on the land. So it's a really nice feeling. I get so much joy looking at the basket. It's like really full of colour. So we've got some pears, some plums, some almonds, but they need like the husks taken off them and they need dried out. And we've got some grapes. I think these are mostly wine grapes, but you can still they still taste quite nice. They've just got seeds in. And so what we're going to do is we're going to make something out of the pears. Maybe a pear jam or something. We're not quite sure yet, but it's a very nice feeling to have fruit growing on our own land. Considering we haven't been here very long and we haven't planted any fruit trees or planted any seedlings yet, it's just really nice to like be able to harvest fruits that were already like established on the land. So I'm just collecting a few bay leaves. What we're going to do is we're going to dry them out and then use them for seasoning in our curries and stuff. And they just smell so good. I don't know if anyone's done this before, but I would love to make these into like candles or something, because I just love the smell of them. They just smell really fresh. But yeah, we'll dry them out and put them in our curries and season them. I then decided to give the fruit a little wash with the water from the well. Since the well water has dropped, we have now discovered that the well is much bigger than we first thought. It extends another 3 meters underneath the ground, so it holds a lot more water than we originally thought. Our life will be so much easier when we invest in a water pump. Even though it's tough work bringing the water up manually, there's a beauty and a satisfaction that comes from the simple methods. However, what we've now learned is where we need irrigation and water outlets moving forward in the future to make life on the homestead easier. Now that we've collected what's ready to harvest, we're going to go inside and get creative and think of some things that we can make from what we've harvested today. A little caterpillar inside that one. We've finished chopping up a lot of our produce now, so we're going to be making some things out of that. But what we're going to do first is we're going to take all these food scraps and compost them. We've got a new tool now, which is great for the compost. It's mad because we've actually been wanting one of these for a while, but we've seen that they're quite expensive in the shop, so we've kind of held off from buying one. And as we're uncovering the land the other day, we actually uncovered it. So the universe is gifting us with a fork, which is really nice. And mad because it was the next tool that we really needed. The compost looks very dry at the moment on the top, but the reason for that is because I've been kind of putting a mulch on the top of it just to keep the moisture inside. So I've been keeping it moist with water, getting buckets and putting that on the compost, and then putting the mulch on the top just to keep it protected from the sun. And I don't want it drying out too quickly because you need moisture for compost to break down.
There's nothing better than making homemade food and getting to lick the spoon at the end of whatever's left. It's just like when we were younger and your mum would make some cakes or something and you'd have the icing at the end and you'd just be able to just lick the spoon.
Now with the pears and plums jarred up and our bellies full, we decided to head to the local village to wash some clothes. This traditional way of washing clothes is something we've seen the locals do on a regular basis. There's something so wholesome and simple about hand washing your clothes. With all the modern conveniences in the world, they can sometimes be great, but can come at a cost of something deeper. Operating more simply can be more soothing for the soul. Over the past weeks and months, this has been a great place for us to test our Portuguese with the locals. Some of the conversations have been fun and interesting. It's amazing how much can be communicated with just a smile and some hand gesturing. The people have been so welcoming, and watching a lot of how the locals live and how they still to this day continue a lot of the ancient ways is so humbling. As the day was coming to an end, and with our harvest all jarred up, we decided to grab one of the jars of pear jam we previously made and have some spelt flatbread to end the day. The pear butter's come out really nice. It's just like, it's so nice to just enjoy something that you've made for yourself. On the roof of your van, looking at the mountains and the sunset and the moon. Yeah, I'm very happy and very grateful. We're just watching the sky change colours and it's really beautiful. And I'm just feeling a lot of gratitude right now, because just to make something that's we've harvested off our own land is just why we moved here, to be honest, to get that feeling and to finally have that in just even in such a small way. It means a lot to us. So just feeling a lot of gratitude in this moment. So I think I'm going to end this video here, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care. This one's my favourite. This is the plum, by the way.
You're a plum.
Delicioso.